All right. Little technical difficulties. So we cut out. We had to start back up. Um, last, I think we were saying we were talking about when they showed up at the Redneck Jasper's house to get the car, the Dodge Charger. They leave Lee with him. They tell her she's like a porn star basically.
Yeah. So they
And
basically get their friend raped is what happened, right?
more or less, yeah. I mean, they don't really show what happens to her. Like basically, once they like leave with the car, that's the last you see of them.
Right, right.
So
And
who
they're not
knows
back
what?
for a while.
Yeah, well, they don't go back
Well, the
we're
movies, yeah.
while the movie's going on. And the whole last like 20 minutes, half hour of the movie is pretty,
Intense.
yeah, is intense. So they get the car, and Zoe decides she wants to do something called ship's mass,
Yeah.
which is absolutely insane. She gets up on the hood of the car while they're driving, and she has like two belts tied to the doors, and she like kind of like a ship's mast, like she's
Yeah.
blowing in the breeze. And this is when Stuntman Mike meets up with them, tries to starts trying to run them off the road, and that whole scene where the whole last 20 minutes more of the scene, he keeps bumping into her, and this girl's just hanging on for dear life by a belt
Yeah.
on the hood of a speeding Dodge Charger.
Now, can
That
we before we get into the I guess the reality of the scene and kind of break down how Hollywood this might be, can we talk about how that's even a real thing? Like how that's someone's idea of a good time? Like she almost like was performing a sexual act when she did it.
yeah,
And she got like some kind of weird pleasure out of it.
yeah. I mean, some people just thrill seekers. Like she was, she's a stunt woman, like in the movie. So I guess it's just like, oh, it's just
Yeah,
crazy shit. Like I guess when you're like, getting into car accidents and jumping off of high ledges and stuff all the time, like, your bar for adrenaline is set pretty high.
I guess so. Yeah,
And this is why I don't do anything that involves me leaving the ground
yeah,
or standing on anything with wheels or or being on anything with wheels where basically I'm not totally encapsulated and safe. Um,
yeah. I'm gonna have to second that. I always like to think of myself as a tough guy when it comes to those things, but like last weekend, I got like a little queasy going parasailing. So like clearly
yeah,
I ain't cut out for that either.
yeah,
You
it's
know,
that's why I avoid that stuff. I just
yeah, we're land animals. Like let's just accept it.
I'm very stationary. I don't do a lot of moving around.
Yeah.
Yeah, but honestly, like, I don't know how fast they were going when they filmed it, but like I'm pretty sure that was actually that girl Zoe on the hood of the car, like hanging on for dear life. Because again, she's a stunt woman, and like obviously someone was on the car,
Right,
so
right.
like I'm pretty sure it was her. So props to her. I mean, she's doing her
Yeah,
thing.
and that scene was insane. That was one of I'm gonna get back down on my knees real quick and say like that was one of Tarantino's most like signature scenes, like just the prolonged action scene. Like his best scenes are 10 minutes longer than they should be, but they're the perfect length, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I mean, you very rarely see other directors kind of do that. Those like
Yeah.
prolong either dialogue or action scenes, but when he does it, there's like a purpose behind it. It's not just because he wants to have all crazy explosions or whatever. Like, it's to add kind of suspense and drama. Um, and that was this whole scene. And there's, they kind of they hit something. She goes flying off the hood of the car, and she's fine. She's just hanging out in the weeds over there.
Yeah.
But this is where I can't remember
She
the
had
girl's
many
name.
opportunities to get off the car too. Like she did not need to be on the hood of that car for that long.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even know the first thing about getting off the hood at that point.
Yeah. I mean, no, there's a time where they both kind of like come to like a screeching halt. Like she could have just jumped out and got in the car, but she stayed on there. I don't know. Realistically, she ain't staying on the hood of that car. I don't care how strong she is. That's
Yeah,
insane.
yeah, no, she was. I mean, that's just it was such like a nerve-wracking scene, especially if you've never seen the movie. You don't know if she's gonna fall off or not. Like, because there's so many times where she's just like slides from one side to the other and just like hanging on by the windshield wiper or something.
Yeah.
Like, it's just crazy. But this is kind of when the tables turn.
Yeah. I was
And
at a certain point, I was rooting for her to fall off. I was getting
Were you?
annoyed. Yeah, I was like, come on, like just fall, please, just die already. Just because it was so unrealistic and it was so close to happening the whole time. Like I needed the satisfaction to watch her just get like, torn up on the side of the road.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately for you, that didn't happen.
No,
Um,
no.
so once they come to a stop, I think it's Kim is her name.
Yeah.
She's talking earlier how she always has a gun with her. She pulls out the gun.
Right. Way late, by the way. Like, why did she have to pull out her gun at the very end? Like, I'm pretty sure she could kind of multitask or be like, hey, girls, can someone grab my gun because this guy is trying to kill us? Like, no, like they have to stop the car, put it in park, and then she remembers she has a gun.
It's a very chick thing to do,
Yeah.
not being able to multitask.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think that's what it comes down to.
So, I think let's do like an anti on your knees segment. So this is us getting up off our knees for a second and kind of pointing out the clear plot holes or gaps in the story.
Yeah.
Obviously the realistic part of the movie can be broken down like, oh, it's a Tarantino movie, it's not always realistic, whatever. But I mean, we don't get really a lot of answers as to why any of this is happening. And
Yeah.
you can say it's him being artistic, but at the same time, I think it's a little lazy almost. Like I think we deserve to know a little bit more backstory.
Yeah, I mean, he in this one, he was really going for that kind of grindhouse era. Like, I've never seen those movies, but from the sounds of it, was they weren't very good movies,
Okay.
and they were really gory, and they were really shittily shot, made, whatever, however you want to say it.
Shittily. No, I like shittily.
Shittily. Yeah.
It's like Italy, but shittier.
Yeah. That's where all the shitty Italians hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and it wasn't meant to be like, like a groundbreaking movie or super serious. Like, it was supposed to, at least the way he kind of described it and what I kind of got from it was it was supposed to be kind of like one of those
like a flash horror movie. Like, I get what you're saying. Like,
yeah,
the slash horror films, I think,
yeah,
in the 60s and 70s. But what I'm saying is that there wasn't even that much gore. Like, there was a few scenes with blood, but like, for you to call it to compare it to those movies that were nonstop gore fest from beginning to end, there was more dialogue than gore by a long shot.
Yeah, and that's a little Tarantino twist on it.
Right.
And I think this one was more of like one of those anticipation horrors where like you kind of see things coming, kind of building.
Right.
You know he's always kind of lurking, and even the chase, like that's like we were saying that we were kind of like it's kind of like a nerve wracking chase scene.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's kind of what I got from it.
No, I agree. And, just to kind of wrap up the plot, we were pretty much near the end, but the tables kind of turn, obviously. As you said, she gets knocked off her car. They decide to, like, let's go get him, girls. Like, let's kill this fuck. And the common theme of revenge in Tarantino movies is introduced, as always. We'll talk about that in a second. But anyway, they get back in their car. She gets, like, a lead pipe. They chase him down. Great car scene.
I was gonna say. I mean, she was just in the hood of the car, like hanging out for dear life, and as soon as they pull off, she's like straddling the door like it's a horse, like right back out there.
Yeah. She has no regard for her own life.
Yeah. I also wanted to kind of say that at this point, we find out that Stuntman Mike is a bitch.
Total little bitch. Yeah, he gets shot and he's done.
Yeah, he's crying. And
it's just a flesh shot. You can see it when he gets shot. It's like right under his tricep.
Yeah, it's a real meaty part. I mean, and I think that's kind of it's supposed to kind of play into like the comical nature of this, where like this big tough guy is like just like crying like a little bitch.
Yeah.
The scene where he's pouring the whiskey on it, and it's just like over exaggerating, like screaming and like
Yeah.
crying, and then and then eventually they catch up to him. They beat the shit out of him to death, and that's kind of where it ends.
Right. And I mean that chase scene is pretty cool, obviously, with them ramming each other.
Yeah,
And altogether, between him ramming them and then them ramming him back after, it's a solid 20 minutes,
yeah,
right?
yeah. It's a very good portion of the movie.
Yeah.
Um,
But
which
yeah, I just wanted to touch on the theme of revenge that, I would say maybe 80% of his movies have, if not all.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I'm trying
he
to
has
think.
he has this obsession with um, the feeling of revenge. He really it's it's his like feel good kind of topic. And it's everyone's. Like, I think Tarantino just does such a good job of um, making movies about just primal instincts like sex, violence, revenge. Like, he just knows what people like deep down inside, and he like blows it up times a billion.
Yeah, no, because I mean, there isn't much of a better motivator than revenge.
No, there's not, and there's nothing feels better than watching someone extract that revenge right in front of your eyes.
Yeah, yeah,
And
in
he's
such
good
a
at like
brutal
taking
manner.
the most unfair situations like slavery, the Holocaust, some old dude terrorizing pretty girls. Like, every bad situation you can think of, flips it on its head and like makes like a victory out of it. And it just, you leave the theater just like feeling like you won,
Yeah, yeah.
like you watched the underdog.
Even Kill Bill. I mean,
Kill Bill, yeah,
she gets
yeah,
shot at her wedding.
yeah.
Like the wedding's supposed to be the
Got
girl's
She
like
gets
best thing.
raped. She gets
Yeah,
raped in her hospital bed. Like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, and
And she, yeah. No, I agree. That's something I didn't even think of.
right.
Um, Also, another little thing I want to point out was how both the movies, while similar, were also kind of opposites. Where
And
the
endings, right?
yeah, in endings, but also in how they played out. Like in the
Were you
first,
talking about the parts of the movie or the two Grindhouse movies?
the parts of the movie.
Okay, yeah,
So for Death Proof, the first half is 90% dialogue, and then the last 5 minutes is like where everything kind of all the violence happens.
right,
Whereas, I mean, there's just still a good amount of dialogue in the second half, but there's we were saying there's like a 20-minute scene at the end of like this whole chase. So
right,
they're
right,
kind of almost like mirror images of each other like that.
right. No, I agree. And one last thing that I want to touch on before I think we can get to our scores is at the very end, his stereotypical punching scene is thrown in, like when the three girls are kind of got him out of this car and they're punching him, very
Yeah,
like comic book esque,
yeah,
and similar to like Kill Bill and some of his other movies. It's almost like he's taking his violent action scenes from like a what are those things called? Those Asian cartoons.
oh, the anime.
Yeah, I can't stand those things, but like I feel like all of his violent scenes are very similar to a cartoon in that sense.
Yeah,
Very like,
no, like whereas the diner scene was shot in one continuous shot, like this was like there was maybe 20 punches and there was like 20 shots.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
like each shot was just another punch, and like it
And
just
like every
aged.
punch, like you can it's almost like he like puts like a big exclamation with like pow,
Yeah,
bang. Like it's very like segmented, like a comic book.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
even with the way the girls died, like they each died individually. Just like he kind of set it up like a comic book, he shows how they all
yeah,
individually, die. So he's a big comic book nerd, you can tell.
yeah. And that's I kind of respect about him is like when he's into something, he just like throws it right into his movies. He doesn't
Oh yeah,
hesitate. Um,
he makes his movies for himself, not for anyone else, basically.
yeah, yeah. He just happens to kind of like the same movies I do. I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
he
No,
just
I mean,
makes.
he definitely he makes his creepy, weird taste in everything accessible to everyone. He knows how to introduce his weird taste to the world and make it work, and that's why he's obviously one of the best.
Yeah.
I mean, aside from that, I think I covered every real point I wanted to. Do you have any other things you wanted to mention about it as a whole?
Yeah, no, I mean, we covered most of the stuff I wanted to talk about while we were going through it. Um, yeah, I'm think I'm good on this.
Okay. You want to get to some scores?
Yeah, sure. You had an ad for us.
Yeah, it's an anti-ad. I think I'm going to start doing more anti-ads than ads, just because they're more fun to do. So, without further ado, these next scores are not brought to you by Bang Medicinal Chocolate. That's like the brand name of this stuff.
Please elaborate.
So it's spelled Bang, Bhang. So it almost looks like an Asian bang. Um,
Bang.
Bang, yeah. So it's basically it's medical cannabis milk chocolate.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah. So this coming straight from Oregon actually is its place of origin, um, and it's something that I've never really used before. Obviously, I smoke a little bit of weed from time to time, but I've never tried these like edibles. I've had a couple like edibles like made, you know, at someone's house, but I've never had them like manufactured as edibles.
Yeah.
Um, Totally a lot stronger than you would ever think they are. If you want to feel like you're having a stroke, this is the product for you. If
Okay.
not, just smoke your regular weed, and you're probably better off. That's probably all I'm going to say. But there's no need for them to put this much THC or you know any kind of substance into one small little chocolate bar. And the real problem with it is that they make them so small. So you're like, oh, that little gummy bear is not going to do anything to me. And then you read the back and you're like, oh, I was only supposed to bite off a leg. Like, why would you make it gummy by? Like, if it's going to make me feel that type of way, like, make it the size of a pizza. So I know, okay, I'll only eat a slice.
Yeah.
But no, it's like, the size of my pinky and it's going to destroy your day. So without further ado, yeah, these scores are not brought to you by Bang Medicinal Chocolate.
See, I thought you were going to go the other way with it. I thought you were going to say that it was too weak, but
Too
you were just
weak?
going.
Oh no, dude.
Yeah.
These will wreck your day. I'm done. I mean, I don't smoke a whole lot of weed as it is anymore, but maybe that's why. Maybe my tolerance has dropped.
I'm sure that plays
But
into it a little bit, but yeah,
it
no, it
might.
was.
I mean, yeah.
They're,
So
they're doing
um,
some great things over there on the West Coast.
I disagree. I mean, they're taking it a little too far.
Well,
But anyway,
we can agree to disagree on this
for
one.
sure,
Um,
for sure.
but we'll get to the scores.
I think you go
Uh,
first.
yeah, I'll go first. Now, keep in mind, people, we're doing this on a different scale than the Oscars. The Oscars, we were being a lot more critical, you
For
know,
sure.
because these are supposed to be the best of the best.
And I think
Um,
I mean I want to come out and say it. I think we should continue to be critical. I mean, being the Academy's Academy, I think we have a high, um, you know,
Standard.
a high standard to uphold. So I think we stay critical, but obviously we're judging it differently, considering it's all the same director.
Right. That's kind of what I meant was like, I'm not being as critical of the movie, in terms of every little detail. Maybe because I'm such a huge fan of Tarantino.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, I mean, I like this movie. Like we were saying, obviously there's some plot holes, some gaps, whatever. It's not the best acting. Um, kind of kooky at times, but I mean, when all said and done, I want to give this bad boy a 7.2.
wow, that's funny. Um, just because we were so close. We're usually not very close, but I was going to go with a 7 flat on this one. And usually I don't do a round number, but I feel like this one deserves a round number just because um, it was a quote unquote bad movie, but the fact that it was meant to be bad on purpose makes it better.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So it kind of like played with me a little bit. I was flip flopping back and forth. So I usually like to do a decimal point because it's classy, but I'm going to stick with just a flat 7.0, which I
Yeah.
think brings us to a 7.1.
Yep.
Obviously,
7.1. I mean, listen, I I usually try and go with decimals, but if your head just happens to land on a flat number, I mean a round number, go for it. You know,
Of course.
I'm not gonna knock you for that, because especially because I know you every other one we done decimals. Like if you want to throw a round number in there once in a while, go ahead.
Doesn't
You
hurt.
know,
Doesn't hurt.
I'm not gonna knock you. So yeah, 7.1 for Death Proof, and now we have to pick our next movie. Let me find my list. So again, I have them all numbered here, and 1 through 10. Actually, 1 through 9 now because we did Death Proof. Um, so yeah, give me number 1 through 9.
3.
3. Pulp Fiction. Let's go.
Wow. Already? It's a heavy hitter right away.
We're getting right into it.
Right into it. Nice.
Right
Okay.
into it. I like it. All right. So Pulp
Also, we
Fiction.
can watch this one on Netflix, which is nice.
Ooh, yeah, there we go. We could watch it on Netflix. Don't have to watch it on my little computer screen. I could watch it on my actual TV.
There you go.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so Pulp Fiction. John Travolta, Samuel Jackson.
Just an all-around classic.
Yeah, Bruce Willis. You forget Bruce Willis. People forget that Bruce Willis is in that.
People do.
I forgot the other big black guy's name. Uh, Marcellus Wallace. All right. Anyway,
That was our segment of bad radio.
bad radio. Big Rames. It was Big Rames.
There you go.
So yeah, I don't know exactly when it's gonna be coming out. That remains to be seen. Remains to be determined. We don't know when we'll be recording it, but it'll be there.
We'll let you know on Facebook.
Yeah, I promise by the next time, but by the time we release that podcast, we'll have a schedule set. We'll have it all figured out. Yeah. So any closing words?
Closing words. It's funny to switch from the Oscar Best Picture nominees to a low budget Tarantino movie. Because I was in that Oscar mindset still, so it was just kind of funny. But totally great movie. Sorry, totally great movie. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it thoroughly. And now we're on to one of the best, I think, of all time, let alone his movie. So I'm excited to do that one as well.
Yeah, as some would say, his piece de resistance.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right. So make sure you guys go, like us on Facebook, Bingeaholics Anonymous. Thank you to everyone, all the new followers and listeners we have that kind of got on board recently. Go like us on Instagram, Bingeaholics_Anonymous, Twitter @Bingeaholics, the website, BingeaholicsAnonymous.com, and you can like and subscribe and listen on iTunes. What are we on iTunes?
Bingeaholics Anonymous.
You got it. So yeah, make sure you go do all of that. Leave us a review. Any last closing words?
Love you, Ma.
All right. Make sure you guys binge responsibly.